Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to go over a Hunter Strand build. Unfortunately, this build you're gonna have to put in a lot more work compared to the Strand Titan and Strand Warlock build I made. So of course this build can work with the exotic that you get for the hunter from beating the Lightfall campaign. So the same theme of these videos is still going, where you can make this build just by beating the Lightfall campaign and getting the exotic from that mission, beating the Lightfall campaign. So you don't need to worry, but it is a little bit more. You do have to put in a little bit more work to make this build kind of shine. But if you want to even make this build work even better, then you're going to want to get a Star Eater Scales exotic, because the whole point of this build is to use your grapple to create a grapple hook for your grapple, and then that grapple hook will stay in that spot for I don't know how long, but it stays there for a pretty good amount of time. So you're just going to want to keep grappling back and forth using that grapple point to hit enemies with your melee while you're grappling. And the point of this build is to use that to generate orbs so you can get your super back quickly. And with Star Eater scales, you can get more super energy from orbs of power that you pick up. And when your super energy is full, if you pick up at least 4 orbs before using your super will start doing extra damage. So Star Eater scales will definitely make this build stronger. But of course, if you don't have Star Eater scales, this can work perfectly fine with the exotic from beating the Lightfall campaign, which is called Cyrtarachne's Facade, I think. I think I'm saying that right. So this exotic gives you Woven Mail when you use a grapple. So Woven Mail just reduces damage on you. So if you're going to be using your grapple a lot, then getting Woven Mail from this will definitely help. And of course, for the mods, you're going to want hands on. So you gain bonus super energy on melee kills. And then Ashes to assets gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. So I'm not sure if the grapple melee counts as a grenade kill or not. I could honestly switch heavy ammo finder for hands on if I wanted to, since this build you're not really going to be using your heavy ammo all too often. If anything more than not, this build is kind of to just get your super back and just use your melee back to back and just generating orbs. So you I you could probably put like 2 hands on here and be totally fine. And then as for the gauntlet mods, you're gonna want heavy handed, so your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. So like I said, when you're grappling and use the special melee from grappling, that when you kill enemies with that, it will generate orbs when you have heavy-handed equipped. So that's why I have 2 here to increase the potency. And then firepower, your grenade final blows create orbs of power. So like again, I'm not sure if the grapple also counts as a, you know, grenade kill when you're using the grapple melee. So that's why I just have this here, just in case. But it does seem to have an effect on generating orbs. So I just have this on. Nothing on the chest piece here. You can honestly use whatever you want. And then for the leg armor, I have recuperation. because while you're grappling back and forth and melee a bunch of enemies, you are going to lose some health, even with Woven Mail. And when you're close to dying, Woven Mail isn't really going to protect you from dying. So recuperation, I felt like, really helped with my survivability, because when you pick up an overpower, you get a good, decent chunk of health back. So I think recuperation is definitely a mod that is really useful here for your survivability. And then I have Absolution twice to reduce all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power. I might just use it to innervation maybe, so I have my grapple quicker, but I'm using Absolution for now. And then for the cloak, I am using Font of Restoration to give me extra recovery whenever I get orbs of powers, so I can get that extra recovery whenever I get armor charge. And then I have Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So nothing too special here. Could honestly use a bunch of different, like, utility kickstart. I feel like is one that I've seen people use, but I just went with Font of Restoration. As for the fragments and aspects, so aspects, you have an additional grenade charge. Your grapple creates a grapple tingle at the grapple point. So this is what I'm talking about when you're going to be going back and forth and meleeing enemies with the grapple point that I'm talking about. So you'll create a grapple point, make sure it doesn't stick to an enemy, because if it sticks to an enemy, it won't create a grapple point. So if you know in a general idea where the majority of enemies are going to be, try to create a grapple point above the area where all the enemies are going to be, and then cancel it so that the grapple point kind of creates instantaneously there. And then from that grapple point, you will have infinite grapples as long as you have, another grapple charge. So this is why the exotic helmet from the Lightfall campaign can be really good to use here for this build. But if you have Star Eater scales, then it'll help even more, because you'll get your super back quicker. And then this is the alt press, or the, I guess, air dive move, where you slam the ground and enemies are just suspended in the air. So with this, I guess there's like sort of two builds that are in this. So I have this on because these are the only two aspects right now, but with the ensnaring slam, I have Thread of Mind. So defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. So when you use this ability to suspend targets, they can't do anything. This Thread of Mind also helps give you your class ability energy back, so you can be technically suspending targets non-stop as well if you want. I have the Thread of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the target, but you can honestly change this out if you want, because if you're going to be meleeing, you're probably going to want something else. But this one I just kind of have as, just there. Threat of Warding, so picking up an overpower grants Woven Mail. So this is mostly for when you're using the Star Eater scales instead of the helmet exotic. So when you're picking up overpower, you'll get Woven Mail, which increases your survivability, because without the exotic helmet, you're not going to be getting Woven Mail while grappling around. So this is also pretty important to have. And then dealing damage generates grenade energy. So this is useful if, you're not that good at creating the grapple points yet, and you need to keep getting more grapple energy back. So I have this because I myself am not quite good at using this build yet, or with the grapple. So I use Thread of Generation so I can get my grapple quicker. But yeah, Thread of Isolation, you can honestly switch out for anything really that suits your needs. This is the build that I'm gonna be showing some gameplay of right here at the end of the video. It's supposed to be like a super generating and also at the same time a suspend build for hunters. So I'm just gonna let the video of my gameplay with it roll at the end, and just a fair warning, I am not the best at it just yet, so please just bear with me in the gameplay. But as you can see, it really does generate a lot of orbs and get you used super quick, especially if you're using Star Eater skills. I'm pretty sure the gameplay that I'm showing is me using it with Star Eater skills, but this build can also work with the exotic helmet if you wish. And with the exotic helmet, you can switch out the thread of warding fragment for something else, since you're going to be getting woven mail anyways with whenever you grapple. So with the exotic helmet, you can switch two of the fragments that I showed you, thread of warding and thread of isolation, for something else if you want. But if you're using Star Eater scales, I would recommend using Thread of Warding. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and comment down below if you are using any other hunter build that I may not know of for Strand. That's pretty easy for newer players, and I will catch you guys in the next video.